sunshine throughout the afternoon.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radio.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
Jackson Hewitt makes taxes feel like a yacht rock song. Get your max tax refund guaranteed, and new customers get $100 to switch. Don't miss the boat. Book an appointment with experts today. Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Number 1 on your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. WDAS and WD273D Philadelphia is Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler.
There's
No foul.
Anderson's
No
long
foul.
three is
No
no
foul.
good.
No foul.
Baby! That's it! The Wofford Terriers are going dancing, baby!
Yeah.
Wofford downs Furman 92-85.
Let's go. Good afternoon, everybody. Daily Ticket coming your way. Sean Race riding solo for now. We got a lot to get to. Opening up the show with Wofford. Not sure that that's ever happened in our 5+ years of existence here on The Gambler. Yes, we did that for a reason because the madness is here, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready? We'll be filling out that bracket on Sunday. We got auto bids happening all over the place, 2 last night. 4 championship games going off this evening. We're going to be all over the madness for you right here on The Gambler. I'll have Ryan Beef Coyle joining me at 4:30. We'll take a look at some of the games that matter the most this evening. Fast forward and start looking at some of the bigger conference tournaments that are taking place starting today as well. More so tomorrow than ever with the Big East and Villanova closing up shop. Whoa. Not trying to predict the loss by the Cats just yet, but they are playing tomorrow. So we'll see how that one plays out for all things Big East coverage. But we got a lot to discuss as far as the madness. And again, Selection Sunday will be live on Sunday night. I'm sure everybody will be, but if you've been paying attention to what we've been able to do here, we got some really good brains in the world of college football, college basketball. So putting those to use and see if we can get a little bit of an advantage as the numbers will be fresh on Sunday evening. Fire up DraftKings Sportsbook. Make sure you use Brace as a promo code. Let them know that you're listening to us. Fun show coming your way. First and foremost at 3:30, Philly's own Zaire Franklin will be joining me. Zaire Franklin is a bad dude on the football field. Anytime you could finish a full season and say, I led the season in tackles, I feel like those are stats. I feel like sacks, tackles, forced fumbles. If you lead the NFL in either one of those categories, I think you can go to the offseason with a smile on your face if your team did not win it. Zaire Franklin balled out for the Indianapolis Colts. He's joining us. He's got a lot going on, man. This is an interesting dude. I'll tell you straight up, really cool stuff reading up on Zaire. He's going to join us. He's got our foundation function coming up here on Friday. We'll hear a little bit more. He's also involved in the flag football world. He's got some really good things. Graduated from Syracuse in finance. Smart dude. Has a podcast. Made a little waves out there in the podcast world. But I don't know if we'll get into all that. We're just going to have some fun here. But this guy is super impressive from what's on his resume. And I think we're going to talk a little bit about Zach Bond because I think there's some similarities there to a point. I'm just curious if he pays attention as far as other linebackers at his position across the league. So we'll have some fun and, of course, hear what's happening over there with Zaire Franklin's foundation. More to come. That's coming up at 3:30. All right. We got to open up with some football talk, though, here on March the 11th. Oh, by the way, my anniversary, 8 years married to my lovely lady. Congratulations, Sean. Thank you. Thank you very much. 3/11/17. It's been a hell of a ride. It's been a lot of fun. Been a lot of battles, but a lot of fun. Love my lady. We're going to do some hibachi tonight. Hey, haven't been in the hibachi game for a minute. I'm looking forward to catching one of those shrimps in my mouth. My daughter's first hibachi experience tonight. So it should be fun. All right, we're going to open up with some NFL conversation. And, of course, the story here in Philadelphia is Howie Roseman and Howie we trust. This general manager that everybody was saying for the last few years, oh, man, nobody's better at their job than Howie. I'm wearing a Super Bowl shirt, right? Super Bowl champions. Man, Howie Roseman's been just doing it and doing it right. We can't second guess Howie Roseman. And Howie we trust. You can't say that one off season or when the off season starts to take form or when the Eagles finally finished their celebratory parade down Broad Street. Oh, whatever happens in the NFL draft, whatever happens in free agency, Howie we trust. Until he trades your guy. Until he trades a player of substance, of importance, until he gets a little return back from that player that leaves you scratching your head. Wait, what? Who? Why? Yeah, we don't have the answers just yet, but we all were puzzled, to say the least, when it came down to Adam Schefter's tweet about 10:30 this morning. Houston is acquiring veteran safety C.J. Gardner-Johnson from the Eagles in exchange for former first-round pick Kenyon Green. Trade includes a pick swap, the Eagles getting a 2026 fifth-round pick, and the Texans getting a 2026 sixth round. So we'll just discuss the player that we know more so than Mr. Green from the Houston Texans. CJGJ, for my money, and if you heard me, I said this during the playoff run. I believe during the LA Rams game, I tweeted it out in the playoffs. And I said, save your tweets if you're going to tell me Jalen Carter, because we already know Jalen Carter is the most important piece on the defensive side of the ball. Now that the season has been over and we can entertain these conversations a little bit more, not to say that we weren't talking about, important matters leading up to the NFC Championship game or the Super Bowl. It was just, a lot of rush, a big party over those 2-3 weeks. But I said that CJGJ for me, if you did not include Jalen Carter up front, and this includes Zach Bond, this includes CJGJ might be the most important piece on the defensive side of the ball. Now, if I had to give that take right here, right now, today, or yesterday when CJ was still with the Birds, and maybe he did know about it because he did have a nice graphic ready to go. I highly doubt that his people are ready to work like that at a moment's notice today. I think that they kind of knew that this trade was going down. I don't know. One man's take. I would probably say Zach Bond needs to be in that conversation, possibly slightly ahead of CJ, but there is no doubt in my mind that we're splitting hairs. CJ was worth what he was paid and then some. We saw what this defense was without him the season before, and we saw what this defense was with his return. Now, he is not the end-all, be-all. Of course, coaching matters. Vic Fangio was not the head coach the previous season, correct? We just went over the list of Zach Bond. You get those rookies. It was a total team effort on the defensive side of the ball this year, no doubt in our minds. But how many times did CJGJ find himself around that ball? And that's what I love about Chauncey, is that he has awesome ball skills. He has a knowledge for the game. Where is it going? He was constantly around those plays. Big time plays. Remember the Falcons play when he made that stuff up the middle? Not afraid to put his helmet in there. Not afraid to shake it up. Super Bowl, challenging Travis Kelce right from the jump. Pick 6 against the Cowboys. And you go back to the 2 years ago when he was with the Eagles, and I think he led the team in interceptions that year. Could be mistaken. 6, I want to say he had. We know how good CJGJ is, and he's 27 years old. I am wondering what the hell is going on. There's no doubt in my mind that the majority of Eagles fans are with me on that. There are some out there that are saying, well, you got to trust Howie no matter what. There are some out there talking about the contract and when CJ's will be up, there will be other players that will be a little bit more important. So Howie's getting in front of them. Sure, there's all sorts of rhymes and reasons at this point in time. But when it comes to losing a player like CJ was for this defense last year, and oh, by the way, getting a guard who I believe PFF had ranked 58th out of 59th last season. You just have to scratch your head and wonder the why. And there's a lot of blind trust these days. And whether we're talking about the reality of real life issues with what's going on with Elon Musk, and now you got to trust Elon. You got to trust him. He's rich. He doesn't need the money. You got to trust him. Blind loyalty. That's all you're here. Okay, we'll see. I'm not in a position of matter here. I can't. It's one man's opinion, one man's take. The decision makers decided to roll with blind trust for this guy. Cool. All right. We'll see what happens. I hope for the best. Here we are right now. Elon to Howie. Howie to Elon. Again, I'm just wondering, it's like we have this blind trust, but on the surface, I just don't see the connection, Howie. It's early. Free agency just started. Howie has come out and said, hey, it's going to need Eagles fans to have a little patience. Things are going to take some time to fill in some of the roster holes that they are going to have over the first few weeks, because this is what happens when you have the team success that the Eagles just did. You got these vultures, these teams out there, right, looking down upon us, just trying to pick any scraps from the championship team that they could possibly find. CJGJ is not scraps. Milton Williams, not scraps. Josh Sweat, not scraps. Darius Slay, not scraps. These are good players. And that defense as a whole, which we knew they were going to lose players, has taken a significant hit over the first 2 days of free agency. My guess at this point in time, and I would love to know your thoughts out there at Fox PHL Gambler. My thoughts at this point in time are this. When it comes to CJGJ, we know what type of personality he is. How there's some back and forth going on right now with Darius Slay and, of course, CJ. Well documented on the Gambler Instagram page as those two guys were sitting next to each other at the Philly show. I would just say that the majority of the time when you get those type of personalities in your locker room, again, hashtag one man's take here, it's better to have those guys and cut ties a little earlier than to have them hanging around later. As great of a player as CJGJ was last year, as solid of a player I believe he will be next year, as much of a fan favorite he has become, I do believe some of that is true here. And probably part of the reason that Howie is saying, you know what? Maybe it's time to move off of a guy like that and see what else we can get in here. Whether it's draft. Are we doubting his drafting capabilities? No, I don't think so. But I think some part of that is true. I have a hard time believing that this is just based off of, well, we're buying low on Mr. Green from Houston and we're selling high with CJGJ at this point in time, because I don't really read that as selling high on the bare bones, just the basics of that trade. There's something else going on there. 53 men make a roster. There's a lot of personalities in that room, no doubt about it. It takes another type of dude to shine through when it comes to those personalities. And anyone going to second guess me on that one? As far as CJGJ and the attitude he has and it makes him who he is on the field. There's no doubt about it in our minds. But if I'm the general manager, maybe that's playing into some of my decisions. That's all. And is he right with looking at it like that? We'll see. He knows what he's doing when I'm talking about Howie Roseman here. They just won the Super Bowl. They've been in the running for the division year after year. This is a great franchise since Howie Roseman has taken over. Can't jump off the ship now, can we? Over this move? No, nobody is. But everybody on the timeline is wondering what exactly is going on. And what truth will we get? We'll see. Now, I do want to put this out there because CJGJ, as I said, did release a statement. And it is interesting when, you get a guy like the move just went down and here he is going, we're going to go ahead and put out this graphic here. And it's not to say that those things don't happen, but it was pretty funny to me how fast it did happen. That's all. Let's see here. Thank you, Philly. Ooh, man, I got to bring out my readers for this one. Thank you, Philly. Forever number 8 in your corner. You've been more than a city to me. You've been a home. From the moment I stepped onto Lincoln Financial, I knew I'd find a place where passion isn't just celebrated, it's demanded. Ooh, I like that line. Ooh. Damn, Howie. And I gave everything, every snap, every hit, every ounce in my bones. This decision wasn't mine, but I walk away proud of what we built together. Becoming a 2-time NFC champion and Super Bowl champion, the forced fumbles and game-sealing interceptions, those moments belong to us. This is good. Whoever wrote this is really good. You taught me that greatness isn't just about highlights. It's about clawing back harder and fiercer, just like this city does every day. To my teammates, brothers, we bled, cursed, and laughed through it all. To the coaches and front office, thank you for trusting a kid from Florida with a chip on his shoulder to lead this defense. And to the Philly faithful, you're unmatched. You embraced my edge and fire for this game, even when I got too hot. Philly, you helped me carve my name into this league, but this isn't goodbye. It's thank you. That's good. That's really good. I don't know who helped him write that. If he wrote that, I'm not trying to take anything away from him, but I would assume that people did help him. Let me give him a roaring round of applause. Nice work. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, yes, you will be remembered. That's all I could say about that. What a dynamic personality and a hell of a player on the field for the Eagles. All right. Again, love to know your thoughts on it and where we at, because it's stirring some things up in the timeline. I had somebody tweet me, "Oh, who are you to talk about offense?" I'm not Jeff Stoutland. I don't want to talk offensive linemen. I try not to get into that world. Leave that to the Baldies. Leave that to the Whitworths. There's plenty of people that can give it. Jeff Schwartz. There are plenty of offensive linemen that can go ahead and break that down X's and O's. I'm just speaking from looking at the locker room, type of personality, the stuff that is happening right now. And oh, by the way, and this will be a challenge for the Eagles. How do you stay away from getting fat? You're on the celebrity tour, and I don't think we're nowhere near this conversation. I'm not trying to have it right now on March the 11th. But it often does come back to the 2008-2009 run for the Philadelphia Phillies. And when they won that World Series, there are expectations for the champion of that said league to be doing things. It's called the circuit, whether you're out there and being rewarded with some awards or, sponsors coming in. Like, the Eagles are rock stars right now. And they deserve every minute of it. Let them get out there, shine as bright as they want. Eventually, that time will call in the summertime when it's ready to put the helmet back on, shoulder pads, and last year was last year. I thought the Chiefs always did a good job with it, but that's got to be challenging. It's got to be challenging from a championship perspective to get those rings, to drop the banner. You got to put all of that stuff behind you because it's new and this is the team you just did it for. So it's like, it's somewhat new, but man, like it's hard to not enjoy that. And you should be able to enjoy it. But there's a fine line between doing things over the top, getting fat, blowing your head up, taking the foot off the gas pedal, and then versus being ready to go for a new season where essentially everybody is 0-0, 0-0. We're not there. Long way to go. But it did hit me when we were at the Philly show, specifically about Cooper DeJean, because my man is about as hot as it gets. Cooper, his stock is through the roof. Cooper DeJean was signing autographs while Chase Utley was there. And with all love and respect to the great one, Chase Utley, there weren't many people there that were lining up specifically for Chase. One man's opinion. There were plenty of people there, don't get me wrong, but Cooper's the rock star right now. And again, he's a rookie, so he'll learn. Hopefully the vets are going to be in his ear a little bit. We got to bring him back down to earth come around May or something like that. Again, it's March. Enjoy this. I hope those guys continue to party. Enjoy this so much. But it does make you think a little bit because of the time of year it is right now. A lot of these teams are hitting the reset button. A lot of these teams are continuing to do the right things in their minds. We'll see what takes place throughout the course of 17 games. But, man, some of these rosters are starting to take shape, and some of these teams are getting better at this very moment, specifically the Washington Commanders. They look good. They're trying to protect their number one product down there in Jaden Daniels. Well, now they went out there and made two moves for offensive linemen. That can only help you out. You need some depth there. Nobody's making it through a full season these days. So I like what DC they're putting together. Long way to go. Are there any free agents of substance that have caught your attention that have ended up in a new spot? One for me, and that's Davante Adams. Davante Adams with the LA Rams, tremendous on all fronts. Nice work by the agent and Davante to say, you know what? Our next best stop for us is in LA. You're talking about a gentleman who could very well have been discussed as the number one wide receiver, was discussed as the number one receiver, definitely one season, maybe two, maybe three. There were plenty of people there that had him ranked as the number one overall wide receiver. And then he became his own worst enemy by chasing the money, easy for me to say, going to the Las Vegas Raiders, and then, oh, by the way, following his boy Aaron Rodgers to the New York Jets. And he became somewhat of an afterthought, somewhat of where we're talking about some other receivers that are free agents, potential trade options, so on and so forth. And we're wondering when you stack up a DK Metcalf, a Chris Godwin, a Davante Adams, where are we ranking Mr. Adams? 32 years old. It's important for him to get this one right. And not only did they get it right, that's a grand slam. That is an offense that we know what they're capable of. The defense, they have young guns over there. We saw that with our own eyes. In January when the Rams came to town, that defense was stout. That defense was really good in my mind. Offensively, you got Puka and you got Adams on the outside. Decent run game. McVay as the play caller. And you're still able to roll through with Stafford. The Rams, again, nobody's winning anything. You don't get any banners. You're not getting any rings for offseason moves. But they have put it together and then some. I like what the Rams have going on right now. And I thought the move of so far free agency with Adams going there was clearly number one. We still got a lot of big names that are out there. Of course, quarterbacks. Where will Aaron Rodgers end up? That's a fun one. Could it be the Pittsburgh Steelers? We'll see. I wouldn't mind seeing Aaron Rodgers calling a career with Mike Tomlin. They should do it. Why not? Supposedly they were in on the Sam Darnold deal. He chose to go to Seattle. All right. If you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, now what? Don't run it back with Russ. You can't do that. Can't do that. Need to make something happen. Seems like they're aggressive. Go ahead and bring Rodgers in. Why not? Why not? Him and Tomlin do have that respect for each other, so maybe you can get him to cool down some of the podcasts and stuff like that. We'll see. But at the end of the day, I still think Rodgers has plenty of talent left in that arm. Mentally, can he get it together? And, of course, can you keep him upright? That's the number one concern when it comes to Aaron Rodgers at this point in time of his career. We'll talk more NFL. We got plenty to discuss as far as free agency is concerned, who's doing what, whether we've had any odds movements because of some of these moves. We'll discuss all that. Fire up DraftKings Sportsbook. Make sure you use Brace as the promo code. But coming up here at 3:30, Zaire Franklin, local cat, West Oak Lane, LaSalle High School. Now, tackling anybody and everybody for the Indianapolis Colts. He's doing some good things in the community here in Philadelphia, and then some. Very impressive young man. Can't wait to talk to Mr. Franklin on the other side. He's going to join me, talk a little bit about Shalice's Angels, all that and more. As I said, Ryan Beefco is going to join me at 4:30. 5 o'clock, picks and roll, all things NBA with Sean Bernard. Man, I watched that Sixers game last night. Just so defeating. So deflating, whatever word you want to use, just tuning in and watching that dreck. And I know the tank is on, so essentially they accomplished what they were going out to do last night. But how the hell did we get here? It's the Daily Ticket. Plenty to do. Don't go anywhere.
Our iHeartRadio Music Awards are coming back Monday, March 17th on Fox.
Celebrating the music and artists you've loved on iHeartRadio over the past year and giving you an exclusive first look at the biggest new songs coming in the summer of 25.
Bad Bunny, Billie Eilish,
Glorilla, Gracie Abrams,
Kenny Chesney,
Money Long,
Nelly.
Your host, LL Cool J.
Watch live on Fox Monday, March 17th, starting at 8 p.m.
And listen on iHeartRadio stations across America and the free iHeart app.
Save 30% on weight loss meds right now.
Try FH.com.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
In Bucks County, roadwork has it crawling on Route 1 northbound, approaching Street Road on Lincoln Highway. Only one lane is getting through. 95 northbound, stopping Allegheny up to Bridge. Schuylkill Gen up westbound, University Divine to Boulevard to Belmont. Eastbound, heavy Montgomery Drive to south. All right, to tell total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off. Free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
It's March matchup season at BetMGM. Ready to shoot your shot? Lock in your picks for this year's tournament with the sportsbook born in Vegas. Being on the sidelines is one thing. This March, get into the game with exciting state-of-the-art live tracking technology, exclusive sportsbook selections, and so much more. Check out BetMGM Originals for dozens of markets you won't find anywhere else. Take a shot at our exciting free-to-play games for your chance at scoring odds boost tokens, bonus bets, and many other prizes. New players can score up to $1,500 in bonus bets if their first bet loses. From the big dogs to the underdogs, March matchups at BetMGM is a player's best friend. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and over only. Pennsylvania only. First bet offers for new customers only. All other promotions for existing customers, subject to eligibility requirements and rewards, may vary. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, help is available. Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, Sean Brace here. Now, do you own or manage a business here in Philadelphia? Are you unsure where to start when it comes to advertising? Well, here's a surprise. Fox Sports The Gambler, your local iHeart station, is the one place you can get it all. From radio and podcast ads to social media and digital. And we can get local voices like mine spreading the word about your business. So if you're looking for someone to take care of all of your ad needs, no matter your budget, call 844-844-iHeart. That's 844-844-iHeart. today.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out collection letters, garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance. And you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it even harder to get out of debt. Don't let tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in taxpayer assistance assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Let them fight on your behalf, helping to put your tax problems to rest. Call the tax professionals at Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
The new iHeart app.
This is the one app you need.
Love my presets. The preset feature is dynamite. Love it.
And I've been telling all my friends about it. They're on the app.
Get in on what everyone's talking about and get the new and improved free iHeartRadio app today.
When it comes to finding great deals on suits, timing's everything. And now's the time, because Macy's semi-annual suit sale is here. Save 40 to 60% on new suits and blazers from Calvin Klein and Michael Kors, with performance suits starting at $99.99. And if you need advice on the perfect fit, Macy's free personal stylists are here at the store and ready to help. If you need a new suit, there's no time like the present, because the Macy's suit sale won't be back until the fall. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Febreze.
It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now, all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze. La 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 la.
Hey, man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No, call Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at topdoglaw.com. Once again, that's topdoglaw.com. It's the Daily Ticket with you here on a Tuesday. Sean Brace riding solo. Coming up a little bit later, we'll get back to the madness with Ryan Beef Coyle, and of course 5 o'clock, all things Sixers and the NBA. We're still talking about the Sixers. When will this? I think we have 18 more games left in the regular season. We're getting closer to putting this one in the ground 6 feet deep and then moving on. But NBA front and center for us. Of course, playoffs will be here before you know it. And as I said, with college basketball, the Madness Selection Sunday happening this weekend. But folks, all eyes on the NFL right now. Free agency happening right here. Eagles made a big trade, and some new people will be heading to new locations all across the league. But our next guest, he's locked into Indianapolis, and I would assume that after the season that he just had, I don't imagine you're going to let a guy like Zaire Franklin out of your building anytime soon. And he joins us right now. Philly's own West Oak Lane, Zaire Franklin joins the Daily Ticket. Zaire, what's up, man? How you doing today?
I'm good. Appreciate you guys having me on today.
Absolutely, man. I know you made the car wash last week here at iHeartRadio, and you hopped on with the fine folks and the Rise and Grind morning show and Power and all of that. So I can't thank you enough for popping up on here today. Unfortunately, I was unable to make it last week, but you got a lot going on, man. I'll tell you what, Zaire. I'm well aware of who you are, where you came from, of course, Syracuse, and what you're doing with the Indianapolis Colts. But I did not know a lot about Shalice's Angels as far as the gala coming up here on Friday, the flag football that you're participating in. You are doing a ton. Talk a little bit about your foundation, please.
Yeah, so, Shalice's Angels is a foundation, created in 2019. Named it after my late mother, who passed away while I was 16. And, the whole goal was just for us, to try to help mentor and expose young women from the city to just, better opportunities they may have not had the opportunity to get otherwise. So, we've done, really cool things like take them to Google, take them to Meta. We took them to the Sixers headquarters. Into the building. I think this year we're going to take them to the NFL league offices in New York. So just a bunch of cool stuff. We got the scholarship gala, coming up on March 20th next Thursday. So that'll be great. Just to get everybody there to not only celebrate what the achievements and things that we've done in the past, but also starting a new initiative, giving a scholarship to a young man from my neighborhood in West Oak Lane to go to the high school that I went to, which was LaSalle College High School.
So cool, man. Yeah, I got a couple buddies. We all have buddies that went to LaSalle, of course, and everybody pays attention to what you guys are doing and what the prep's doing. So if it's not you guys, it's them. If it's not them, it's you guys. So
us more than the prep, but it's okay. Us more than the prep.
That's it. Zaire, your mother, man, your late mother, and I lost my father too, right around that time that you just brought up. What is she? If she could look down as she is right now, what is she thinking with everything you're doing at the professional level? This foundation is incredible. You're looking at the activities as you just mentioned. There's just so much more than just the foundation, what you're doing for a lot of these young kids with the career days. And like you said, with Meta, the Google, the trip to the 76ers practice facility. I would imagine that your mother is extremely proud looking down upon you, man.
Yeah, I would hope so. My mom, she was very, soft spoken. She loved with a big heart. She was really my motivation. I remember being, from a very young age and just watching her work, a double, as a nurse while also going to school to get her criminal justice degree. And, she just inspired me. She showed me what hard work was really like. She showed me how to continue to dream, even if, the circumstances wasn't always perfect. So when she got sick, when I was in 5th grade or so, it was really tough for her. She was disabled for pretty much the rest of her life. But, she was always there. She still came to all the games at LaSalle, still was a big supporter. And, I'm just glad that I could make her name, in stone and just honor her every chance I get. So it is special for me.
Very cool, Zaire. Appreciate that couple minutes there on that, man. Great to hear. And of course, Shalice'sAngels.org is where you can find all the information. The scholarship gala going down Thursday, March 20th. It's plenty of time for you to get involved out there, people. Cocktail reception, silent auction, all that and more. Details available at Shalice'sAngels.org. All right, Zaire, let's talk a little bit about the season that was, man. You led the league in tackles. That is just something right there. I'll tell you, when I opened up the show, I said, if there's 3 categories that I could lead the league in, it would be forced fumbles, it's sacks, and it's tackles, man. How were you able to do that throughout the course of 17 games, staying healthy and just being dominated week in, week out?
Well, first of all, God give love to the D-line. Pretty Grove and Depot. They definitely keep me clean. I tell everybody those are my bodyguards. But just playing relentlessly, when I was a young player in the league, I had a coach tell me that a linebacker job is to hit the ball every play. So that's just how I play. And, really just trying to play as hard as I can and help my team win.
Excellent. Zaire, we're breaking up just a little bit, man. I don't know what happened there, but yeah. So from you're right. From the Colts season that was, you guys have got some moving parts already. You guys I saw you on Instagram showing some love to some players that left the Colts and of course are cashing in. So big time player perspective there and supporting your own. But with new names coming in, just ready to go for this upcoming season. But I would imagine you took a little bit of time here. Take us through once the season ends. Were you able to get away for a little bit, take some time for yourself?
Oh, you have to. This season, probably more than others, it was just an extremely emotional roller coaster. Just one of those seasons where it just demanded a lot of you mentally, emotionally. You just got to take that chance to kind of sit back. Obviously, everybody's disappointed by how the season ends, other than the Eagles, of course. You don't win the championship, so you gotta sit back and kind of reflect about why you are where you were, and how can you move forward. But I just think, the further you get away from the season, you're able to kind of look back and see it for what it actually was. And it's like, okay, we did play some good ball. We did, make some plays. We had some stuff there, some optimistic things to build on. We in a position, with a couple of more playmakers, to actually be one of the best defenses in the league. And, I just, shout out to, Chris Ballard. I think he did a fantastic job the first day. Just showing up the secondary with Javarius and Cam Bynum. So obviously those guys got to come in and perform, but it definitely was a good sign.
Paying attention. I love it, Zaire, and I'm sure Colts faithful love that as well. Again, some moves being made, including Daniel Jones getting an opportunity to get out there in the quarterback room, of course, with Anthony Richardson leading the charge for the Indianapolis Colts this upcoming season. Zaire, speaking specifically, you brought up the Birds here, and One individual who got rewarded last week was Zach Bond at the linebacker position. You were all pro. Zach had an unbelievable season for the Eagles. He was a first-team All-Pro, and he was rewarded. It was a pretty cool story. I don't know if you pay attention. Do you pay attention to most players that play your position across the league? Because that was the ultimate bet on himself type of move. He signed for like essentially $1 million, $2 million, whatever it was, and then now just got rewarded with a huge-time payday. Of course, had a great season and ended up winning the Super Bowl. Do you pay attention to other players around the league that are at your position specifically?
Oh, no question. I'm just a huge fan of the game, so I love whenever somebody new that's popping up, or that's making plays. That keeps me sharp. I'm trying to learn or watch them, so I really just love watching the game. Obviously, my family's still in Philly. I still spend a lot of time in Philly, so I'm always aware of what's going on with the Birds. So, it was cool. His story very similar to mine. Obviously he started off as a special teamer early on and really just made the most of his opportunity, which is a great thing to see. And, obviously he got rewarded and, it was well-deserved. You just got to keep it going.
That's right. All right. Since you are a Birds fan and you come from the defensive side of the ball, your thoughts on the brotherly shove, a.k.a. tush push. Are you pro banning it, or are you saying, man, you can't be banning it just because they run that good?
Anybody say that they don't want it going hasn't tried to stop it. so I've been on the opposite end of trying to stop it. But no, I mean, honestly, the play really starts and ends with Jalen. I mean, I think he's one of the more underrated runners in the league. He just got, strong legs. He runs hard. You really got to get him down. So I think, when Nick was, when Sirianni was in Indy, we used to QB sneak all the time on 4th and 1. Obviously, he's doctored it and created a play that is a little controversial, but I know a lot of the little techniques and stuff that they talk about. I remember hearing Nick and Frank Reich coach it through back when I was earlier in my career. So obviously, I think the play literally starts and ends with Jalen. I think we could take the play out, but at the end of the day, it comes down to how good Jalen is.
Talking to Zaire Franklin from the Indianapolis Colts. He's got a lot going on. ShalisasAngels.org. Check out all the information there. You're right. With Sirianni coming from Indianapolis, that is funny you brought that up. Now, I know you have a podcast that you were doing all throughout the course of the season, Trenches Show, at the Trenches Show. Very open. Love it. Love. I will just tell you this much, right? Darius Slay had a podcast here in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I heard.
And I was interviewing this reporter like a week ago, and I was like, I could deal without the podcast. And the reporter cuts me out and goes, no, the podcast is great. What are you talking about? So that tells you all you need to know about, podcasts throughout the course of a season. But that's all right. Putting that to the side, man, it's very entertaining. As I hear you guys are wide open with that. So I know you guys get into the conversation of like top 5 quarterbacks, top 3. Were you always saying Jalen Hurts was elite? Do you think Jalen Hurts is an elite quarterback? Your thoughts on Jalen Hurts?
I mean, I think that, the present moment kind of speaks for itself. He's a Super Bowl MVP, so you got to put that on his resume. That's a separator. I think when it comes to the great quarterbacks, I think a lot of these guys have a lot of great qualities. They, a lot of these dudes put up a lot of stats. Jalen wins, so I think that's also something in his favor. I think if he was to really sit down and break down to 5, I mean, he's probably, if he's not at 5, he's probably somewhere hovering right around that, especially after the season that he's had. But there's a lot of good quarterbacks now.
No, there definitely is. Zaire, as far as Philadelphia, you brought up some of the sports. You brought up the Birds here. Are you a Sixers fan? You grew up being a Sixers fan?
Oh yeah, other than football, I'm all Sixers, Phillies, Flyers, Union. I mean,
Union getting a shout out. That's what I'm talking about, Zaire. I like that. All right, so the question is about the 76ers. What are we doing, man? We got I think the season is over on April 13th. I can't wait till it's over. I'm counting down
not soon enough.
What do we do, man? We're in trouble right now. JoJo's hurt. I don't know if we're ever going to get the healthy big man that we ever wanted. Of course, you get this Paul George deal. If you were Daryl Morey's assistant, Zaire Franklin, what would you recommend as soon as the season comes to an end?
I mean, first and foremost, we got to get the big man healthy. He's one of the best players. I mean, it's tough coming off that Olympics run. We know how, Joel is, sometimes, the wear and tear in his legs. He'd be needing that rest time. But I mean, Maxie is an extremely bright young player, bro. And I was really surprised he didn't get the All-Star this year. I wasn't sure if that was like games play. I know he's missed a couple games, but Maxie might be the guy that might have to help lead it and put in the driver's seat. While Joel's trying to figure it out.
Yeah, that was my only worry about this season. Was like, man, I just hope Maxie's able to keep that mental going forward. It definitely, everybody took a step back this season. It's just been brutal since we tipped back in November, but slowly but surely the season coming to an end. Zaire, talk to me a little about the Global Flag Ambassador that you're involved with, man. I saw a video on the NFL Network last week. And you are one of, if not the number one guy representing the NFL as far as global flag football ambassadors. Talk to us a little bit about how you got involved doing that for the NFL.
Yeah, so it was something, we kind of talked through the league with, for the last couple of years. I do know Jalen's involved with it too. He's in the commercial, so obviously I ain't the face. He in the commercial, so. So obviously I do a lot of work with Shalice's Angel with young women. Talking to Troy Vincent and the rest of the guys in the league office. It's important. It's a huge initiative, not only just to grow the game globally, but also to try to open it up to get young women involved and give them a chance to play the game that we love so much. So honestly, it just married up so much with who I am. We're just trying to help the young ladies get out other opportunities, and just a chance to continue to grow the game, not only domestically but on a global scale. It's fantastic. So I'm just looking forward to it. I'm extremely excited to be able. We actually have, I actually have a flag football event happening in Philly at LaSalle on June 7th. It's going to be great. It's going to be crazy. USA football is there. It's going to be the national team is going to be there. So it's going to be great. So so June 7th, lock that in. June 7th at LaSalle will be a girls flag jamboree at LaSalle. So.
Ooh, I like the way that sounds. And of course, right there on June 7th, summertime. I believe flag football for the girls is coming to the Olympics. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, flag in general is coming to the
flag
Olympics.
In general. Okay.
So that's pretty cool. We got a couple of Philly natives on the actual national team. Shout out to Bruce Mapp, West Philly. Bruce Mapp is a receiver on the national team currently. So we got a couple people from Philly's represented. And when it comes to USA flag, for sure.
I love it. Zaire, can't thank you enough for stopping by. Once again, ShalisesAngels.org for all the information about the gala. But, hey, man, once you move past this successful event coming up here on the 20th, love to help out any way we can, specifically here at iHeart Philadelphia and right here on Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler, with, of course, the flag football event coming up on June the 7th, Zaire. That sounds awesome, man, and continued success both on and off the field. And have a great sponsorship gala event coming up here on Thursday, March 20th. Zaire Franklin from the Indianapolis Colts, Philly's own, on the Daily Ticket. Zaire, thank you for a couple minutes, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you having me on, man. Thank you.
Anytime. There he is, Zaire Franklin on the Gambler stream. And, man, that's pretty cool about the flag football event going down at LaSalle. Love to hear more about that. Love to get involved. As Zaire came in last week and, I can smell out when there's somebody authentic, somebody that means something, somebody that is true. If you go to his Instagram page, Zaire posted a post or a pic last week when he came in with the Rise and Grind folks. And he talked about, this is what I listened to growing up. And he had a couple details in that post that caught my attention. I'm like, this dude gets it. And he's real. You heard him. He brought up the Union. Zaire Franklin brought up the Union. Come on. Let's go. Good hit, good dude, and doing really good things in the community with the Shalice's Angel organization. Once again, ShalisesAngels.org. And I love to hear the why when it comes to these foundations. And the season that he just had, and of course, 7th round pick, I think 7 or 8 years with the Indianapolis Colts, all with the Colts. And he just had an insane season. Think about that. An insane season. He led the league in tackles. Crazy. Absolutely crazy season for Zaire. So continuing to put Philly on the map and doing great things there. So once again, ShalisesAngels.org. All right. Great stuff from Zaire. We're going to keep it moving here. Coming up, as I said, 4:30, we got madness coming our way. Ryan Beef Coyle is going to join me. dude, like if these calls don't get your juices going, listen to this. Listen to this call last night. Wofford. Yeah. They're automatically in. They won the bid. Listen to this call.
There's
No
Smith.
foul, no foul,
Don't
no
foul
foul,
him. They
no
get it
foul.
to Anderson. Anderson's
No
long
foul.
three is
No
no
foul.
good.
No foul.
No foul, baby. That's it. The Wofford Terriers are going dancing, baby. Wofford downs Furman 92-85.
That's what I'm talking about. You hear that? The Terriers. They took down Furman. Southern Conference champions, 92-85 final score last night. I got one more for you. Troy, let's have a listen to this one.
It's all over but the shouting, and there will be a lot of shouting. Three-pointer on the way, no good. And this one belongs to the Trojans. Screamers everywhere at the Pensacola Bay Center. Count the Troy Trojans out at your peril. You can count them as Sun Belt Conference champions. We're heading to the big dance.
How about that? They took out Arkansas State. Detroit Trojans win the Sun Belt. So 2 tickets punched, 2 teams are dancing. We got 4 championship games going down this evening. So Ryan Beef Coyle is going to give us a play in all. I'm going to challenge him and see if he can raise his game, see if we can go 4-0. I mean, maybe we needed a big cat. It was the story of sports gambling for the last 16 plus days, whatever it was. Nice work by Big Cat and Barstool. Did come to an end last night. Did not have a good vibe, but you can't. You just, what are you going to do? Bet against them? Can't do that. And I was late to the charge. I'm not a big Barstool guy. I do like those guys. I do think that they do great work. But you know, one of my issues is with Barstool, and this is probably something that's out of their control to a point. Is it just my feed? But like I follow PFT, Big Cat. I don't follow Portnoy. I don't follow, like, honestly, limited. I follow Smitty. I don't even know if he's there anymore. Jordy's local here. So, like, that's it. I go on Instagram, it's nothing but Barstool. I go on Twitter, it's nothing but Barstool. I go on Facebook, it's nothing but Portnoy. Like, they just shove it down your throats, the algorithm. Like I said, that's not any fault of Barstool people there. It's the people that are making this happen digitally and whatever money they're spending. But it's just to the point that it's like, man, all right, like, I don't care that Nikki Smokes is slept with the whole office in Chicago. And it's like, you know, like Brandon Walker's calling it I don't care. I just don't care. But it's just all on my timeline all day, every day. And like, I don't want to block these people. It's not like that. But man, who's ever in charge of distributing money to get the algorithms to go that way, they are amazing at their job, because I don't know. Maybe it is my algorithm, as you often go. I have that funny joke where I will go to my algorithm on Instagram, and you hit the magnifying glass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 13 squares. 11 of them are girls in bikinis right now. Look at that. That's my algorithm right there. I don't look at it though like that. It's not what I do. That's all it is. I lent my phone to Beef Coyle for one weekend, and next thing you know, this is all it does right here. That and Barstool. Good grief. All right, having some fun here on a Tuesday, riding solo for now. Coming up, we'll continue to talk about the NFL free agency that is still currently happening. I do have a top 25 of who's available right here, right now. The latest as far as the quarterback carousel is concerned, and we got to have some fun at the New York Giants' expense. What in the hell are they doing up there? Seriously. Now, we like it. We're fans of it here in Philadelphia. This is thumbs up material across the board. But the decisions that they have made these last 2 seasons would, if I was an owner, I would lose my mind. because it doesn't seem like anybody's connecting the dots or looking down the road. For my money, 30,000 feet up here, looking at what the Giants are doing, it is a lot of hoping and praying at this point in time. And I don't think those prayers are being answered by the right people. We'll talk a little bit about the New York Football Giants, as today is a special day in Giants history. Saquon Barkley. Yeah, he signed his contract with the Philadelphia Eagles 1 year ago today. They announced it. So thank you very much, New York. We appreciate it. Keep up what you're doing out there. All right, Daily Ticket rolling on. 4 o'clock hours on the other side. Back up this.
Buckets, brackets, and bankrolls.
He's going to try to get Alabama off of the court.
March's Real Madness starts here. It's The Gambler.
There's a lot on the line in a divorce. Your home, savings, maybe even your kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce and the unexpected directions it can take, you need a partner you can count on. I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. Don't let divorce take more than it has to.
Offices in Philadelphia, Radnor, and Allentown, Pennsylvania, and Mount Laurel, New Jersey. Rick Julius, licensed in Pennsylvania only. Michelle Ferreri, licensed in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. Online at CordellCordell.com.
T-Mobile home internet is all about speed, value.
What you doing, Zach?
First thing, there are so many benefits. You got to talk fast.
T-Mobile home internet ranks #1 in customer satisfaction for home wireless internet by J.D. Power.
Wow, you are good.
Try singing it. T-Mobile has price lock.
They won't raise your rate on internet.
Hulu and Paramount Plus on them.
Get T-Mobile home internet all in for just $55 a month with auto pay and any postpaid voice line.
Additional terms apply. For J.D. Power 2024 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
CEOs you should know, brought to you by Comcast Business.
Justin Jude, Global CEO of LKQ Corporation. Our mission is to be the global value-added distributor of products and solutions to our customers. We were founded as a automotive recycler. So think of a junkyard, but we professionalized the business. We processed over 800,000 vehicles. And so we like to make sure that those vehicles do not end up in a landfill. Chemicals don't end up in the soil. And so we recycle, detoxify those vehicles, and then sell those products. We make money at it, but we're doing it from a sustainable standpoint. We created a foundation in 2020. We donate over $4 million. $1 million of that typically goes to employees or employee families, children for scholarships. We also have an employee relief fund. Think of some of the hurricanes that have occurred in Florida and some of the other markets where we will help not just our employees, but also help the communities for which we operate. It's critical for us to be known as a good corporate citizen and a good community supporter. We created this foundation to make sure we have a good opportunity to allocate that money out. We operate in Ukraine. We have 50 locations in Ukraine, so we not just help our employees in Ukraine, but also help some of the communities in those areas that are suffering just from the Russian invasion. LKQ being over 1,600 locations across the globe, 48,000 employees. If you really want to work for a company or support a company, buy from a company that is all about sustainability, that's how we were founded.
To know more, go to lkqcorp.com. Comcast Business, the complete connectivity solution, cybersecurity, internet, and mobile, all from one provider. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Buying a home used to feel like a complete headache. Listings here, pre-approval there, financing somewhere else. Now, Rocket is giving every home one address. Rocket.com. A single seamless homeownership platform to help you find, buy, sell, finance, and refinance your home. Everything you need, all under one roof. Visit Rocket.com, the new home for all things home ownership. Rocket, own the dream.
Rapid radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies, offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off, free UPS shipping, and add code RADIO for an extra 5% off.
Here's what's trending on the iHeart Sports Network, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook.
There's another trade happening for the Eagles. They're dealing safety Chauncey Gardner-Johnson to Houston for offensive lineman Kenyon Green. 4 straight losses hang over the Flyers going into tonight's game against Ottawa. Philly starts the day 8 points out of the East final wildcard spot. And Dodgers phenom Shohei Ohtani will become the first Major League Baseball player available to players of the Fortnite video game. I'm Scott Davidson.
Check out what DraftKings has to offer this season with code SPORTS, because life's more fun when you're in on the action. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Age and eligibility restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. See DraftKings.com for details.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
In Bucks County, Route 1 northbound, crawling Old Lincoln Highway to Business Route 1. Roadwork has it down to just one lane. 95 northbound, that's crawling Vine Expressway up to Bridge, where the off-ramp's partially blocked with a disabled vehicle. Again, on the Schuylkill westbound, University to Vine and Boulevard to Belmont are to tell total traffic.
This report is sponsored by True Green.
We're back in the miller's yard, who now use True Green. Their lawn started looking like a fairway, and pro golfers started showing up. They love playing this lawn.
Get a PGA Tour quality lawn for as little as $1 a day at TrueGreen.com. Exclusions apply. See TrueGreen.com for details.
If you've been wanting to try Ozempic, go to tryfh.com right now. If Ozempic is effective, Future Health is next level effective. These new reports are saying Future Health is getting 58% better results. Customers are reporting they've lost 35 pounds or more in just a few months. Go now and take the quiz while their 30% off offer is still active. Get started today, and you can have meds delivered to your door in 48 hours. That's tryfh.com.
Tryfh.com.
Data based on independent study sponsored by Future Health. Future Health is not a healthcare services provider. Meds are prescribed at provider's discretion.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. Optima Tax Relief. Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Run a business and not thinking about podcasting? Think again. More Americans listen to podcasts than ad-supported streaming music from Spotify and Pandora. And as the #1 podcaster, iHeart's twice as large as the next 2 combined. So whatever your customers are into, true crime, sports, comedy, culture, they'll hear your message. Plus, only iHeart can extend your message to audiences across broadcast radio. And all this reach means everything. Just think about the universal marketing formula. The number of consumers who hear your message times the response rate equals the results. Now let's get those results growing for you. Think podcasting can help your business? Think iHeart. Streaming, radio, and podcasting. Let us show you at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com. Or call 844-844-iHeart. One more time. Call 844-844-iHeart and get podcasting working for you.
Surprise! Your expenses this month were way higher than you expected! Also, you forgot to renew your website domain and now you're in a bidding war!
You should see the look on your face.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Plus, the fridge died in the break room and now everything smells weird.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
What if your limited inventory had unlimited potential? What if your biggest risk was not taking one? What if you could make every move matter? Bank of America's business solutions can help bring your biggest what-ifs within reach. Find out how our digital tools, cutting-edge insights, and trusted expertise can work for your business. What would you like the power to do? Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank sponsor of FIFA World Cup 2026.
What's up, everyone? It's Greg Rosenthal, and I'm teaming up with the king of spring, Daniel Jeremiah. He requires me to say that. We're going to be bringing you 40s and Free Agents, the only podcast you'll need this NFL draft season. From DJ's mock drafts to my top 101 free agents, we'll have it covered for you with all new episodes every Thursday, keeping you up to date as we head to the NFL draft. Listen to 40s and Free Agents on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Follow 40s and Free Agents and start listening on the free iHeart Radio app today.
#1 on your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeart Radio app. WDAS and WD273D Philadelphia is Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler.
All right, welcome back. Fox Sports Radio to Gambler here. It is the Daily Ticket rolling a solo for now. We will have Ryan Beef Coyle joining me coming up here in just a little bit, around 4:30. And we'll talk all things college hoops. Continue to get you caught up on everything you need to know from the conference tournament perspective. A lot of them get ready to go here. And, of course, some automatic bids being put out there. College basketball front and center. The madness. Tell you what, it was really cool too. And if you were living underneath the rock, maybe you didn't see, but Big Cat from Barstool Sports going on an unbelievable run. And I think he said he'll never do it again. And he's pretty much right. It's 16 in a row. That's next level. And it's even more so next level when you have the eyes of the world upon you, as Big Cat does with his following. And of course, from the gambling side of things and some one-offs and the reach, it was funny to tune in 2 nights ago, whatever it was. I forget what the exact game it was. But Tim Doyle for the CBS network brought it up in mid-game. I was just like, damn, dude, that's next level. So really good stuff. And again, with the madness here, the Selection Sunday on the 16th will be live for you on Sunday night. We're going to be doing a ton over the next few days here on The Gambler, live at night as well. Great college basketball heads. Mark Henry Jr. is going to be joining me on Friday. We're going to get Tansy involved. There's a lot going on from the world of college basketball. And, look, I know that there's a lot of people out there that try not to get bogged down as far as with the automatic bids or the Summit League tournament or the ACE, stuff like that. And just really want to get the brackets in their hand. And then I would not argue with you one bit. But if that is you, then Sunday night, please come back. But if you're someone that likes these conference tournaments, and again, with all of the great ones, Villanova in action with Big East starting tomorrow, all the heavy hitters are getting going over these next couple of days. SEC, you name it, we're off and running here. This is the week. And you wake up, you got college hoops in front of you at noon tips and an open gymnasium over there in Brooklyn or down in D.C. or wherever it may be. But it's a lot of fun. And again, like I said, from the standpoint of trying to find winners, this is the place. Lock into The Gambler. Be sure to follow all of our talking heads on socials, and we're going to keep you up to date on everything you need to know from the world of college hoops. All right. And again, Big Cat, nice work by him. Came up short, came up small last night. Tough one out there for UNC Dub. People were like, oh, this is a moment that you got to bet against them. And I'm just like, people have been saying that for a long damn time now. When you win 16 straight, eventually it's got to come to a close. And it did last night on an over, which the total score was 135, under 148.5, stayed way, 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 way under the number. So tough spot. Again, you're seeing a little bit more defense played in some of these games. So overs probably would not be my play, my lean. But again, when you win 16 straight, I'm not here to argue. To tonight's games, we do have some good games going off, specifically Notre Dame and Pitt, Colorado, TCU, Cal, Virginia Tech. So some big names going off here. UNCW and Delaware. That's a game to keep your eye on. That's going off at 7 p.m. tonight, where UNCW is an 8.5 point spread or favorite in that one. Delaware with a pretty cool story then in their own right. Gonzaga and St. Mary's. That's going off this evening. A lot of attention on that one. Gonzaga 3.5 point favorites in that matchup. Late night action. We got 9:30 tips and 11:30 tip between Montana and Idaho. Like I said, Ryan Beef Coyle going to join me in just a little bit. So we'll talk more things as far as that is concerned with Beef. Now, the big story of the day, if you are just tuning in and have not had an opportunity to check out your timeline or did not hear from anybody, but the Philadelphia Eagles made a major trade today, trading CJ Gardner-Johnson to the Houston Texans for an offensive lineman that exactly wasn't grading out all that well. Kenyon Green, a matter of fact, I believe was 58 out of 59 guards in the NFL on PFF as far as his grade was concerned. And, look, you come to Stoutland, you got to revamp that offensive line. You have to get some depth in there. Sure. But to remove Chauncey Gardner-Johnson from the season that he just had, And if you listen to my show, if you listen to me, been raving about Chauncey, I could make the case, and I think I was trying to make the case, that if you removed Jalen Carter from the mix, he might be the most important piece on that defense. From the secondary perspective, what he does, coverage, ball hawking skills. Remember the pick 6 against the Cowboys. Remember that big hit against the Falcons. Just a true heady football player. And I don't know why you would make this move. And it will always be Howie we trust, right? This dude has just been the truth. And with everything he's doing, no one's here to second guess. But I am wondering out loud, really, what is behind this move? And I would imagine we're going to continue to hear things, money and all of that. But I just feel like maybe there is something to the standpoint of you get what you can from a player like CJGJ, and it's better to move off of that said player than to hang on. And I don't know what the contract situation is. I would imagine that, he's one of a few players that will have to renew their deal. And are you going to do that for a guy like CJGJ? He is that good that maybe you do tend to err on the side of caution and keeping him in-house. And you saw the difference in when he wasn't here 2 years ago versus when he was this year. You were able to get a Super Bowl championship. Is that okay for you to say, all right, you know what? Then it's time to move off. It's time to move out. CJ, a player like that is going to wear out his welcome in the locker room. And it's all well and good when you're winning. But if something doesn't transpire the right way, is that a guy that could blow it up? I don't know. I just was shocked, literally shocked that CJGJ ended up getting traded. I did not see that coming, did not hear anything. I don't believe anybody had that on the timeline. Watch out for CJGJ being a potential trade victim here. None of that. So I look forward to hearing what Howie Roseman had to say. Again, you get a really young offensive lineman. I understand he's on a rookie deal, but, CJGJ was young. He's 27, 28 years old. I just did not understand it when I did see it. Now, the Eagles defense as a whole has lost a few players. And Howie Roseman did preach patience. Howie Roseman did come out a couple weeks ago saying, I hope Eagles fans understand what we're up against, what we've been through, and we need to hit the reset button somewhat. And it's easier said than done to put together a team as far as, a championship contender is concerned on defense, especially with those players. We all know how good this defense, what they were capable of. Did you get some rookies to come in and bust in the scene in a big way? Of course, maybe some people didn't expect that as high as a level that they played at. But I was very, very happy with CJ coming back into the mix with the Eagles and felt like he was going to be a true difference maker, and he has been. He has been, and then some. So the Eagles defense, if you've been paying attention since yesterday, and it's been transpiring fast and furious as far as the trade or free agency has kicked off here. Eagles defense now will be without Josh Sweat, who signed in Arizona, Milton Williams, who signed a mega deal with the New England Patriots, Isaiah Rodgers signed with the Minnesota Vikings, Slay, we don't know. We're hearing some different things now, but he's expected to be out. We'll see what happens there as far as that is concerned. I don't assume he'll be back. I think somebody's going to end up paying him more money. Bradbury, we knew that was the case, and CJGJ, gone, traded to Houston. So a couple big names there. Nothing really all that surprising except for Chauncey. And I would have thought that one or the other, Milton Williams or Josh Sweat, would have been back. I think we talked about that last week where I said it does seem like one of the two will be back. But then again, I was always front and center on if the number is too much, Howie's not going to match that. And if a team out there says he's going to be a difference maker in the middle, a piece that will get us over the championship to a championship edge, then yeah, I could see Josh Sweat and Milton Williams both leaving. I didn't think Milton Williams was coming back. I thought Josh Sweat would have been the guy back. I know I was saying that last week, but here we are, not the case. And the Philadelphia Eagles are moving on, which is wild to me from CJGJ. Again, love to get your thoughts at Fox PHO Gambler, at Fox PHO Gambler. A lot of great conversation on the timeline. Luke Arcani doing a great job on Instagram and our socials at Fox PHO Gambler. Give us a follow there. We're still waiting to see what's going to happen with some of these quarterbacks. You know, what will happen with Aaron Rodgers? Where is he going to end up? Russell Wilson, where is he going to end up? Justin Fields goes to the New York Jets, and that's a good spot for him, something new. I did not think he should have went back to the Pittsburgh Steelers, played his butt off, 4-2 record, and they pulled him for Russell Wilson, which was a mistake. I thought that they would have been a better team with Justin Fields. I was saying it before the season started. I was saying it when they removed them at 4-2. I did not think that the Pittsburgh Steelers were going to be competing for a Super Bowl, but I thought that they had a better shot to do so or to make a playoff push, to actually do something in the playoffs, have more success as a team with Justin Fields under center than Russell Wilson. Anyways, it wasn't the case. Now they are moving on. Aaron Rodgers could end up in Pittsburgh. I know that was the number one option as far as DraftKings was concerned when they were rolling out the odds-on favorite for Aaron Rodgers' next team. Apparently, there have to be teams that want Aaron Rodgers because there are teams without quarterbacks. You know, you look at what Tommy DeVito is the starting quarterback at this point in time for the Giants. What is that? That can't be good enough. The Tennessee Titans, what are they doing? What are they doing? You know, you just look around at some of these spots. Now, Sam Darnold ends up in Seattle, and that was a good move for him. They got rid of Geno Smith. I think I prefer Geno Smith than Sam Darnold, believe it or not. But you want something new, you want something fresh. I understand how that works, but I don't know if that was the right move for a franchise. I think the Raiders did end up getting a hit on that move. They didn't give up a ton and got Geno, and let's run it back with Pete and Geno, and we'll see how that one works out. But you know, from the standpoint of Sam Darnold or Geno Smith, I think I would prefer Geno. Anyways, Daniel Jones, he's on the move. He joins Indianapolis Colts yesterday. He's expected to sign a 1-year, $14 million deal. Nice work by Daniel Jones, especially when you can't throw the football. If you could still get paid to play the position that you are supposed to be able to throw the football, that's great. I think he might have the best agent ever. We'll see what happens with Aaron Rodgers. That is the big one right now. NFL.com has some best available names. I'll read you some of them that maybe the Eagles might be looking at. I still think that our attention is on Becton from the offensive line perspective, but I don't think he'll be coming back. You know, like I said, from the quarterbacks, what's going to happen there with Russell or Rodgers? Jameis Winston still available as well, 31 years of age. Could Joey Bosa end up with the 49ers? Should have happened already. That just seems like it's a match made in heaven. Bring Bosa brothers in there and see what you can do. I think that would be elite if everybody could stay healthy. We understand what happened with Joey Bosa, now 9 years in the league. But there is plenty of upside to bring him in and see what you can do. The Commanders have made a number of picks, a number of moves that I think have put them in a better position for this upcoming season. Protecting Jaden Daniels, of course, number one. That's got to be high on your list. And you have to wonder what's going on with the Houston Texans, because now that they're without two of their starting offensive linemen from last year. So CJ Stroud wasn't all that protected very well. So that's definitely something that popped my eye open on that one. Again, the move of the as far as free agency is concerned, Devontae Adams ended up with the LA Rams. You know, I'm not going to sleep on Devontae out there. This guy was the number one overall wide receiver year after year for a good 2 to 3 seasons. And he made some bad career choices, chasing the bag for the Raiders, going to the Jets to play with his friend Aaron Rodgers. If he can get serious now, and I think that that's the place that they are pretty serious in LA with McVay and Sam Darnold, a little bit different. Matthew Stafford as your quarterback, Puka out there on the offense. The Rams are a good team, and defensively they got some good young studs. We saw that front and center this year for the Eagles in the playoffs. I do think that the way that the conditions played out in that game, I think that had a little bit more to do with it. You remember what the Eagles were able to do on the road in L.A. Earlier in the regular season when Saquon went for 2-something in that game, whatever it was, close to 300 yards total offense, crazy. But the Rams, I think, are the winners so far with that Devontae Adams signing. It's a great move. If Devontae could stay healthy, which he hasn't had too much of an issue, right? Devontae Adams. Let me pull up his play as far as games missed. It's tough because I know he did miss games with the Raiders, but I don't know who was rushing back. He played in 14 games last year total, 17-17. So I'm wrong about that. All right. So he didn't miss any games really. And didn't miss all that many games for the Green Bay Packers as well. It's a great move. It's a great move. He's 32 years old. He's on the other side of Puka. Puka could be your number one, but so could Devontae. Devontae is that dude. I know I'm not telling you anything you don't know. He is still one of the great route runners, high up, one of the better receivers to go up and make those plays. And that's a great get by the LA Rams. Anything shift as far as the odds are concerned early on DraftKings Sportsbook as far as futures to win it all? Currently, Eagles plus 650, Chiefs 7-1, Bills 7-1, Ravens plus 700, Lions 9-1, 49ers 14-1, Commanders 18-1. So not all that much as far as movement is concerned with the additions of some of these new players, these rosters continuing to take shape. Again, nothing earth-shattering for my money, but it's definitely a really important time of year because, as I said, this is when the rosters are starting to take shape and starting to put things together. We'll see what happens. We'll keep you up to date on everything. Once again, make sure you're following at Fox PHL Gambler, at Fox PHL Gambler. One quick note as far as the NFL is concerned. Yep, we are celebrating. Today is the anniversary for Saquon Barkley. 1 year ago today, the New York Giants decided to move off of Saquon Barkley. Barkley comes in to Philadelphia and absolutely rips it up. Had a pretty much the best season ever, was rewarded last week with the new contract. And it's just crazy because you look at what the Giants continue to do, and I just don't know how that general manager is still in charge. He gave $36 million over 3 years to Darius Slayton with the new contract at the Giants. Now it's under being reported. It was essentially $3 million less than Saquon Barkley. It's just, he clearly is way out in front of his skis, and that general manager is a dead man walking. And for the Giants, specifically Mara and the ownership group, to realize and try to be good and try to be nice guys and keep everybody intact from the head coach to the general manager and think you're going to get something different with the bullseye being bigger than ever, it was such a mistake. You needed to rip that Band-Aid off and start fresh. And they should have done it within probably week 12, week 13, be one of the first teams to go out there and get your candidate, whether it would be Ben Johnson, whether it be Bill Belichick, whether it be whoever you wanted. You're the New York Giants. Start acting like it. And clearly, that is a dead franchise walking. No quarterbacks except for Tommy DeVito on your roster at this point in time. You can draft whoever you want, Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders. You are not going to win more than 6-7 games next year. And if that is your, even if you are going to play good games and win 7 games, are you bringing everybody back? I don't see that happening. It's just a disaster for the New York Giants. And it's all because of the general manager, Joe Shane. And you got former players coming out saying he has no idea what he's doing. You made a mistake with the previous general manager being hired, and you just got to do a better job at bringing in the right people. And, from the Eagles' perspective, that's easily said, no, we like what's happening because it is pretty funny. But at the end of the day, man, from just a football fan's perspective, you have to ask yourself, what the hell are they doing in New York? All right, keep it locked right here for all the moving pieces as far as the NFL is concerned. Coming up 5 o'clock, we'll talk all things NBA with Sean Bernard. Other side, Ryan Beef Coyle is going to join me. Let's talk some college hoops. The madness is here on Sunday, the 16th, Selection Sunday. We'll be filling out our brackets. Are you ready? Do you have questions? Well, you can get involved with us. Hit us up on socials at Fox PHL Gambler. We'll go over some of the big games tonight, some of the conference tournaments that got started, some of the things that Beef has his eye on, and some winning plays as well. Don't touch that dial. More Daily Ticket after this.
Our iHeartRadio Music Awards are coming back Monday, March 17th on Fox.
Celebrating the music and artists you've loved on iHeartRadio over the past year and giving you an exclusive first look at the biggest new songs coming in the summer of 25.
Bad Bunny, Billie Eilish,
Glorilla, Gracie Abrams,
Kenny Chesney,
Money Long,
Nelly.
your host, LL Cool J.
Watch live on Fox Monday, March 17th, starting at 8 p.m.
And listen on iHeartRadio stations across America and the free iHeart app.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Good afternoon, Tuesday drive home, and we're pretty packed on the Vine Expressway. Both ways, Schuylkill 95 northbound, jammed Vine Expressway up to Bridge, where the off-ramp is partially blocked with a disabled vehicle. South of 95 heavy Cotman to Bridge and Ridley Park to the Blue Route. Westbound Schuylkill, that's Shannon University to Vine and Boulevard to Belmont. Eastbound heavy Blue Route to Belmont and Montgomery Drive to South. In Bucks County, Route 1 northbound crawling Old Lincoln Highway to Business Route 1. Roadwork has it down to one lane. Lara Totella, total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rocket. Rocket is giving every home one address. Rocket.com, a single seamless home ownership platform to help you find, buy, sell, finance, even refinance your home. Everything you need, all under one roof. Visit Rocket.com, the new home for all things home ownership. Rocket, own the dream.
It's March matchup season at BetMGM. Ready to shoot your shot? Lock in your picks for this year's tournament with the sportsbook born in Vegas. Being on the sidelines is one thing. This March, get into the game with exciting state-of-the-art live tracking technology, exclusive sportsbook selections, and so much more. Check out BetMGM Originals for dozens of markets you won't find anywhere else. Take a shot at our exciting free-to-play games for your chance at scoring odds boost tokens, bonus bets, and many other prizes. New players can score up to $1,500 in bonus bets if their first bet loses. From the big dogs to the underdogs, March matchups at BetMGM is a player's best friend. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and over only. Pennsylvania only. First bet offers for new customers only. All other promotions for existing customers, subject to eligibility requirements and rewards, may vary. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, help is available. Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
If you've been wanting to try Ozempic, go to tryfh.com right now. If Ozempic is effective, Future Health is next level effective. These new reports are saying Future Health is getting 58% better results. Customers are reporting they've lost 35 pounds or more in just a few months. Go now and take the quiz while their 30% off offer is still active. Get started today, and you can have meds delivered to your door in 48 hours. That's tryfh.com.
Tryfh.com.
Data based on independent study sponsored by Future Health. Future Health is not a healthcare services provider. Meds are...
Back May 31st and June 1st at the Man in Fairmount Park in Philadelphia. Hold on, wait a minute. D'Angelo, Lenny Kravitz, Meek Mill, The Roots, Glorilla, Miguel, Thames, Kaytranada, Lotto, Music Soul Child, Jay-Z, 2 Chainz, and many more. For tickets and info, head to rootspicnic.com. Presented in partnership with Live Nation Urban.
Hey, Sean Brace here. Now, do you own or manage a business here in Philadelphia? Are you unsure where to start when it comes to advertising? Well, here's a surprise. Fox Sports The Gambler, your local iHeart station, is the one place you can get it all. From radio and podcast ads to social media and digital. And we can get local voices like mine spreading the word about your business. So if you're looking for someone to take care of all of your ad needs, no matter your budget, call 844-844-iHeart. That's 844-844-iHeart today.
Febreze. It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now, all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
What if your business could see beyond what is and into what can be? What if you could create more impact in every decision? What if you had a partner as visionary as you are? With Bank of America, you get access to our trusted experts, real-time insights, and digital tools. So whether you run a local shop or a global enterprise, you're backed by business solutions to make every move matter. What would you like the power to do? Find out how at bankofamerica.com/banking for business. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank sponsor of FIFA World Cup 2026.
Hey, man, you all right?
Need me to call 911? No. Call Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at topdoglaw.com. Once again, that's topdoglaw.com.
There's
No
Smith.
foul. No foul.
Don't
No
foul
foul.
him. They
No
get
foul.
it to Anderson. Anderson's
No
long
foul.
three is
No
no
foul.
good.
No foul.
4 seconds
No
to
foul,
go.
baby.
That's it. The Wofford Terriers are going dancing, baby. Wofford down Furman 92-85.
Yes. If madness had a sound, that's it right there. That call, Wofford. Heading to the big dance. Ticket punched. Who will we be adding tonight? Well, we got four more championship games. Of course, all the major conference tournaments over the next few days will get going. Joining us live right now on the Gambler Hotline, we're talking college hoops. We're dialing up the best. Ryan Beef Coyle joining me right here, right now. Of course, Beef and I are going to be doing a lot over the next few weeks, including the college basketball catch-up show, live edition for you folks tomorrow in studio, and then on Sunday, it depends who will be rolling through, but we're going to be live with a little bit of a bracket recap, looking to all things March Madness on Selection Sunday. That's coming your way Sunday evening. Ryan Beef Coyle now, though, on the Gambler Hotline. Beef, beautiful day outside, my friend. How we doing?
Beautiful day. Just got in the car and the dial says 71. So kids outside shooting hoops on the drive home.
Mm-hmm.
Conference tournaments in full swing. It's a great time of year. St. Patrick's Parade this weekend. Vibes are up.
Vibes are up, man. We need to get some of those funds up for the people out there. And, of course, we got some big games tipping off this evening. We got a lot of action, live action right now, Tracy. We also have the Villanova in action tomorrow night. So a lot of eyes on college hoops right now. Of course, everything that's happening in the sports world. But we know the madness is here. And yeah, I did drive into work earlier today and I saw kids playing on the basketball court, and it warmed my heart, Beef. It did. It warmed my heart seeing that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's something that, like, as I've gotten older, I'm not, like, taking for granted. Like, actually seeing kids outside, like, throwing the football, shooting hoops instead of inside on the iPad. I feel like an old man, but it is good to see.
All right, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Of course, last night, Wofford and Troy punched their tickets. Any surprises there? Did they steal any bids? What happened last night in the world of college hoops as far as the field of 68 is concerned?
Yeah, SoCon was Southern Conference between Furman and Wofford. That was definitely a unconventional, I guess, tournament with the 6 and the 5. The SoCon's usually like a 13 seed about in the conference. Wofford, they were the 6th overall seed in their own conference. So they're probably looking at like a 15 overall seed or something. But that is something that's going to be something to watch next week. I'm sure if you tuned into that game, they have their center. He shoots underhand from the free throw line. So that's going to be one of the fun things to kind of look at over the next few weeks. And then Troy, the Sun Belt was, as we talked about last week, how crazy that bracket was with all the teams basically getting a free bye, the top 4 until the semifinals. You had teams that had to win on multiple days. And Troy was an underdog last night. They win it outright. So I think right now they're probably looking at like a 14 seed. So 2 teams that you're probably not going to see much of in March Madness, but definitely noteworthy for sure as these teams getting some of their exposure for the first time.
Yeah, my guy had Rick Barry come into practice to teach him that. The actual Rick Barry, who's probably 80-something, if I had to put a number.
I was going to say. Yeah, I thought he would have been dead.
God bless him. But he goes in to teach the granny shot. Now, Beef, where's the line in the granny shot? What do you need to shoot percentage-wise for you to be allowed? Like, you have to be worse than Shaquille to even consider it. And then what's the number that it's allowed for a player to shoot granny style from a free throw line?
I mean, I think I saw he was like 31% before. And when it gets to that rate, it's like, how good is this dude to even be functional on a Division I court? Like, all right, maybe if he was a Division III player or something, you could see him like continue to get away with it, but there's not more options. But hey, he's the starting center on a conference championship winning team, and he'll be shooting granny shots in the NCAA tournament. So he made a change, and it's worked out for the best for him, I guess.
It's pretty funny that's March Madness right there. That taking place, that's the story we're looking for, and there's going to be 100 more of them over the next week or so that we're going to learn a lot about when it comes to all things March Madness. All right, Ryan Beef Coyle joining us right here, right now. Of course, we do have some conference tournament action going off right now. What's in play right now? The ACC, is that in action right now?
ACC, Big 12, TCU is playing Colorado right now.
Yep.
Pitt, Notre Dame had a wild ending earlier. If you go on Twitter, you'll see it, but some people are calling it maybe the worst call they've ever seen to end the game. So some drama here in the early going. Today you're kind of just getting out, the bottom of the barrel teams in these conference tournaments, the big ones at least, and then over the next few days is when we're really starting to get, balls to the wall action with teams that are still playing for tournament spots and whatnot.
All right, well, let's talk about some of the big ones we have this evening. I'm going to challenge you. Let's see if we can go 4-0 with these conference championship games. Not going to be easy, but we'll see what happens, and nobody knows more about these games, these teams, than Beef. Ryan Beef Coyle joining us here live on the Daily Ticket. Let's talk about UNCW and stay local with Delaware. I know you know a thing or two about the university down there in Delaware, and their story is pretty crazy. Break down the significance of them playing in this championship game tonight, taking on UNCW, 9-point dogs. But, man, they have turned it around and then some. What's the story with Delaware right now?
Yeah, 5th game in 5 days for Delaware as they go to punch their ticket for the auto bid tonight at the CAA. I saw earlier they hadn't won 4 games in a row since November of 2023. So it's been a while that they've even done this. They lost 10 of their last 12 games, I believe, in conference play too. So it's not even like a team that was playing well. And they squeezed out their first game in the tournament as well, because I remember I bet on them. They didn't cover the first game, and now here they are. They've just gotten hot. And someone said it the other day, but they said March momentum's a real thing, and Delaware is a perfect example of that. Plus 8.5 tonight. I'm riding with it. It's just one of those. Are they out of gas, or are they just going to will their way to the finish line? And 8.5 points. UNCW coming off a close game last night against Charleston as well. Delaware, when they've been at their best throughout this tournament, they've played well. They've shot the ball really well. They're playing with a lot of confidence. In 8.5 points in a championship game's a lot. So they might just be completely out of gas, but I feel like you've got to continue to ride the magic in this spot. So I'm going to go with Delaware plus 8.5. My sister goes there, and she sent me a picture last night. They were offering like a bus down to DC. So maybe a lot of Delaware students down there. She said the first bus sold out. So maybe a good contingent of Delaware fans to see if they can pull off the first real kind of Cinderella run of March.
Yeah, well, they're up to 9.5 now on DraftKings Sportsbook. And we're talking about history, folks. This is the Delaware will be trying to make the history as far as tournament is concerned. They are let's see here. In a tournament title game, have a chance to be lowest seeded team to win any conference tournament. So they're trying to make history with that. Only 2 double-digit seeds have ever won a conference tournament. Xavier won Atlantic 10 back in 2006, and NC State won the ACC tournament last year as 10 seeds. So right here, right now, trying to make history as far as conference tournament week is concerned. A lot of eyes on that story with Delaware being able to turn it around. You brought up the March momentum. Does that carry on for Oklahoma? Do you see Oklahoma getting in the tournament? Where do you stand on that? Are they a dangerous team right now?
I've loved Oklahoma over the past few weeks because they're a team. All right, so they started out, I believe it was 13-0, and they get into conference play. And as we know at the SEC, it was a gauntlet. You look at a bunch of their losses, tight, close games, but this is an Oklahoma team that's really talented. And I've hit on them a couple times in the past few weeks. I had them outright Saturday night against Texas. I had them plus 3.5, I believe it was, last week against Kentucky or 2 weeks ago. They lose that game by 2, but it's a talented team. And a team that if they do find their way in the field, I like them as a team that could even make an upset or two in the actual bracket. Them compared to a Texas or Ohio State, one of those two teams that have kind of similar records. I really like that Oklahoma team, and I think they could be a team that makes it to the second weekend if they get into the dance for sure.
All right, let's talk about the WCC championship game going down in Orleans Arena down in Las Vegas. Gonzaga, who we're all familiar with, and if people paid attention over the years, of course, we're familiar with St. Mary's. 28-4 this year. Zags have turned it around, though, a little bit as of late. They're 24-8 at this point in time. WCC play, 17-1 for St. Mary's. Gonzaga, 14-4. Zags, 3.5-point favorites. Is the wrong team favored in tonight's championship game, Beef?
Yes, sir. St. Mary's actually swept the season series. I couldn't tell you the last time that happened in this matchup with it being in favor of St. Mary's. If there's anyone sweeping, it's usually Gonzaga. And I had St. Mary's in both of those games, actually. That was one. The one was the night before the Super Bowl, and we were live betting them a couple of times just because it was like they're so in favor of St. Mary's. It was weird that the line was still as it was. But this is one of those scenarios like, can you beat a team 3 times? St. Mary's is going to be in the tournament regardless. I believe Gonzaga's safely in as well, but you don't want to leave it up to the committee. I actually like the over in this one. Gonzaga, they want to make it a track meet, and if you do think Gonzaga is going to win, I definitely would lean to the over. If you think St. Mary's is going to win, I would say more of an under because St. Mary's can really defend when they really want to lock in. But I do think Gonzaga makes this one a little bit more of a track meet. I'm not going to be on either side in this one. But over 138.5, I do like that number in this matchup.
All right, so he's given us a play in each of these championship games. We're not going to hold him down to a side. But if you had to make a selection here after betting St. Mary's two times and coming out on top both times, where are you leaning? Who's representing tonight?
I'll take St. Mary's with the plus 3.5. I think it could come down to the wire and be close. But I'll take the dog there with 3.5 because I definitely think that they're good enough to win the game outright.
Interesting. All right. Let's keep it moving. We're talking to Ryan Beef Coyle. Ryan Coyle 35 on socials. Staying in the championship game area. Let's go ahead and break down the Barbasol Horizon League champ. Have you ever used Barbasol shaving cream, Beef?
I have not.
Thick. You don't need it. It's too thick. I mean, literally from the 50s. Anyways, they're sponsoring the Horizon League. We got a championship game tonight between Robert Morris and Youngstown State. Robert Morris, a 3.5-point favorite. 136.5 is our total there. 25-8 on the season versus 21-12. Youngstown State, 7 p.m. tip-off here in Indianapolis. Where are we going, Beef?
So when you look at Robert Morris, you said they're 25-8 on the season overall.
Correct. 15-5 in a Horizon.
24-8 against the spread.
Woo!
So it's a team when they win, they cover as well. But I'm in a bit of a precarious situation because I am holding Youngstown State plus 750. I gave that one out last week. I gave out all my conference tournament winners, Youngstown State plus 750 to win this tournament. So that's who I'm going to be on in this one. But if you want to lean towards the favorite and the trends there with the 3.5, not going to fall you on that one. I kind of like the over as well. Horizon League is a league famous for their overs. They're leagues that are teams that are able to get up and down the floor and shoot a lot of 3-pointers. I hit the over in the game last night with Robert Morris in Oakland. I didn't take the Youngstown State one, but Robert Morris does like to shoot a lot of 3-pointers. So if you're going to make me take an actual play in that one too, I will go with the over, but I'm holding on to that Youngstown State plus 750 ticket.
All right. We don't hate it. That's why people got to follow. That's why people got to listen. They got to understand that this isn't just something that we pick up the paper and all of a sudden just play some wagers left and right. No, who would do that? No, that's not what we do here. There's a method to our madness here, folks. All right, Ryan Beef Coyle.
Yeah, well, Youngstown State too. Let me finish on them. Is a team that has revenge on their mind because they were the number 1 seed in the conference last year. Coach leaves, goes to Utah State, but a lot of the roster did stay at Youngstown State. So this is a team that is looking for revenge, has revenge on their mind after falling short of going to the NCAA tournament last year. It's a team that has the ability to, as Jalen said, get their lick back tonight.
I like that. Do you see the Denver Nuggets? They got their lick back last night against OKC.
I did not see that. I was tuned into March.
That's all right. We got plenty of time to talk about NBA. Matter of fact, NBA conversation coming up at 5 o'clock. Sean Bernard, he'll handle all that for us here on The Gambler. All right, 4th and final championship game here. March the 11th, we're talking about championship action. St. Francis taking on Central Connecticut. This is the Northeast Conference Tournament Final taking place in Connecticut. Ryan Beef Coyle, Central Connecticut, a 10.5 double-digit favorite here, 135.5. St. Francis playing in a final with a 15-17 record, and we're doubting them tonight. What is going on there?
Yeah, so this is one, if you're looking at either of these teams winning, Central Connecticut will probably be a normal 16 seed. St. Francis will probably be in the play-in in Dayton if they make it. Central Connecticut, been dominant throughout the conference all year. A good non-conference, too. They actually beat St. Joe's outright. They are 20-9 against the spread this year and 15-8 against the spread as a favorite. They've been a favorite a lot in that weak Northeast Conference. Central Connecticut State, their head coach, is a guy, too, that's getting rumored to potentially be leaving for a bigger job as well. So look for Central Connecticut to finish off a historic season for their program. Danielle Marshall used to be the coach there. This new regime has really kind of turned it around and made them into the top team in this conference. So I like them to finish it out strong tonight, cover that number as a favorite. Another one, I gave them out. They were minus 250 to win the conference, so I didn't actually take that one, but I know some people actually parlayed them with High Point, both at minus 250 to get around even number there. So Central Connecticut State, though, I think finishes it out tonight and ends the red flashes of St. Francis season.
Ooh, look at them showing off on the way out. I like that. No, not on the way out. We got plenty to discuss here. Hang on, you're not done yet. But the 4 championship games we got going off this evening, correct me if I'm wrong, but we got St. Mary over versus Gonzaga, correct? That's your number one play there. We're going to take the over in that one.
Yep.
We're going to take the over in Robert Morris, correct?
Yes.
We're back in Central Connecticut minus the 10.5.
Yep.
And we're going plus 9.5 with Delaware.
Yep. I think I might sprinkle a little coin on the money line for my Blue Hens too.
Yours. Plus 340. Yep. Let's go. All right. I dig it. What do we say about Big Cat's run here? 16-1. What are we saying about that? When the books will be written and we put a bow on this season, what are we looking back and remembering from Big Cat's 16 straight win run here?
It was awesome. It truly was like a fun thing to be on. I hopped on it midweek last week. It was Eastern Kentucky and Stetson, maybe. It was a Sun game on and over, and I was riding with them ever since, and it was a fun run. I saw the odds of it happening were going 16-0 on games with a 50-50 shot, essentially, was less than like a fraction of a percent. So pretty cool thing, but he is off to a terrible start so far for his bounce back. If you're looking to fade him, he had the over in Notre Dame and Pitt today, and it went under by about 30 points.
Yeah, see, these overs, man. I can't second guess a man who's on a 16 straight game run here. Yeah. But these overs.
And Saturday was insane. It was dead in the water.
Oh yeah.
It was 169.5, I believe, and at one point the total was down to like 140.5, and it went over by a few points as well.
Yeah, I could not believe that happened, and everybody was watching, and it's a great story, as you said, and he's very straightforward that it will never happen again in his life, and he's right about that. Yes, he's definitely right, but it is funny to go and look at. And I did hop on a little bit last night, nothing too crazy, but I wanted to keep riding the wave. I was only able to get I was 4-1 following Big Cat's place. How many did you get? How many did you ride?
I think I was on 6.
Okay, nice, good work by you. All right, as far as college hoops is concerned, I'm curious as we look at some of these other tournaments that are getting going tonight. And you look at a game like the Arizona State versus Kansas State game. You look at a game like Syracuse, Florida State. You look at what Notre Dame just played, whatever. What's the mentality? Is it different strokes for different folks when you look at handicapping these games? Are you going off of how they've looked as of late? Are you taking into your handicap the season record? When you start getting into these conference tournament games, and we're speaking about teams, and I know it's easy to sit here and say, but like NC State went on a run last year, as we just heard, right, as a 10 seed. So it's not to say that these teams can't make a run and eventually get to a championship game or win it all. But what is your handicap when you start talking about like Arizona and Kansas State tonight, 7 p.m. Kansas State's a 5.5 point favorite, 143.5. Is there anything that's leading you to a play in this one more so than anything as far as the breakdowns are concerned? Like I said, season record, conference record, what they've been doing as of late. Where do you come in on that conversation?
I think you kind of got to look at it as like who has a foot out the door and who's got like an eye on an early spring break vacation, something like that. Like when you look at Arizona State, there's been rumors the past couple of weeks Bobby Hurley could be on the way out. You know, that's a team that they won't qualify for the NIT, the CBI, whatever these other tournaments outside the NCAA tournament. They're just a team that wants to get home. Kansas State's a team that kind of just had a down year, but they've played really well at times in the Big 12 this year. Like, would it surprise anyone if Kansas State made it to the semifinals of the Big 12? I don't think it's like that outlandish because came into the year with high expectations. They had a lot of talent. There was a stretch during the middle of the season, a 6-game stretch where, according to analytics, they were the best team literally in the country at Torvik. So you kind of got to look at it like that. Like, who wants to still be there? Who has a chance to actually make some noise? And when you look at Kansas State and a team like that, that's a team that kind of fits the description. You look over at the ACC. All right, Leonard Hamilton announced that he's going to be retiring at the end of the year. Is that a team that wants to play for him? They've been playing well over the past couple of weeks. They just beat SMU outright at home on Saturday. Do they want to kind of extend their season, extend Leonard Hamilton's career? You kind of got to dig into the weeds a little bit and look at really kind of who wants to be there and who's ready to go. Like the matchup between Notre Dame and Pitt today finishes at 59 or 58 or something like that. Those are two teams that have been dead for over a month now and that are just ready for their season to end. And you kind of saw it out on the floor today. That's why probably the under was a good play in that one. But it comes down to me, who's there, who wants to be there? Are there coach firing rumors? Are coaches stepping down? What's the motivation factor? And you kind of got to dig a little bit into that. But that's how I kind of look at these, conference championships that are going on tonight, maybe even tomorrow, like the first round, before you get into the games that are really going to matter and mean something for seeding.
Yeah, you're right about Notre Dame and Pitt. Total was 135.5. They finished with 109. Are there any more of those left on the card tonight?
On tonight, off the top of my head, because I'm in the car, I don't know, but
you got FSU and Syracuse. You got let's see here, Utah.
UCF Utah is one that I think I actually have the over with. Those are two. Utah already fired their coach and brought in the new coach, so that roster is basically just in kind of screw it mode. Like they could all be out the door this time next week. And UCF with Johnny Dawkins, they might look to change things up as well. So that's one where I could see absolutely no defense being played. And those two teams have played each other in the past couple of months and had some good games. So I think that one, I like the over actually. It just no glorified pickup game, I think is the best way to describe Utah and UCF tonight. And you might see some fireworks.
Oh, you talked me into the over there. How about Idaho and Montana tonight? Big Sky Championship semifinal. Anything for you on that one? That one's tipping late at 11:30 p.m. People are going to be chasing. Give us something to chase, Beef. Give us something to chase here.
I would say if you want to put if you like a money line that's right now at minus 200 or something like that, and you want to add Montana to it, I think that's a good one. They're probably in the minus 230 range. So if you're a parlay guy, I would probably stick to that. But Montana minus 6.5, if you just want to straight up play, I think would be the option in that one as well.
All right. Great stuff. All right. Get you out of here on this one. Big picture, Beef. We got a long way to go. We're going to be live tomorrow. We'll be probably live on Thursday, probably live on Friday. We're going to be live on Sunday, and we're not going to stop until we crown a champion down in San Antonio. San Antonio.
Yep.
San Antonio. That's right. That's right. I had no interest in going this year. Not that I've ever been to a Final Four, but that was crossed off about 2-3 seasons ago. Anyways, bid Steelers. Who we looking? Where are we at? Who's on your mind? Do you know I heard this is March, Mr. John Rothstein himself say Villanova could potentially be a bid Steeler? What's he talking about?
That means we'll have to get through UConn. I'm kind of looking at the ACC, Wake Forest and UNC, they're going to have to play each other and then eventually match up with Duke. But one of those guys, all right, I'll give you the conference that's going to be chaos. I don't know if it'll necessarily lead to a bid stealer, but one that you might look to take an underdog in. The Big Ten. I think the Big Ten could be a little wild. Rutgers is actually 200 to 1. If you put a $10 bet on Rutgers, you're bringing in over $2,000 if they find a way to win. And they might have the two best players on the floor at all times. I know it hasn't exactly amounted to much success in this tournament, or in this season, but it's 5 games. Can they do it? Maybe, maybe not. But we're the stab, we're the Chipotle burrito to get the chance of $2,000 and maybe get yourself a head spot this weekend. That's what I'm looking at. But I actually have Illinois winning that tournament at plus 750. I think that's going to be a really fun one.
Illinois. Wow. Where's that coming from?
They basically, for about a month, maybe even 5 weeks, they had a sickness going around the team. They weren't able to like fully practice. They would have guys missing in and out of games. And now that they're fully back, they've been playing really well over the past few weeks. When they've been at their peak, they're awesome. They're like 19-1 when they score 80 or more points. It's tough to match up with a team that's able to go out there and score that much and play at their pace. So Illinois plus 750, they're definitely going to be in the dance, so they don't qualify as a bid stealer, but a team that can certainly raise their seed line over the next few weeks. My Final Four for the Big Ten bracket was number 8, Oregon, number 5, Wisconsin, number 7, Illinois, and I forget who else was in there off the top of my head. 6 seed Purdue. So I had 5, 6, 7, and 8 in the Final Four in the Big Ten. I'm going that for the one of chaos. And Villanova, I do think their season ends against UConn on Thursday night.
Yeah, it's uphill climb for the Cats. We'll see what happens. We'll have all the action for you right here in the Gambler. My only take would be that I believe Auburn will not win the SEC. So do with that what you want. There is money to be made with some other teams out there, whether it's Florida plus 270, Bama plus 425, Tennessee, whatever you want to do. But I just don't see Auburn winning it at plus 150. And therefore, I believe that carries over into March Madness. I will not have Auburn winning it all as well. I've already had that in my mind. I don't care what the bracket's going to reveal. I think Auburn's going to come up short in March Madness. You got any big takes on your mind right now? You thinking Duke's going to not be eliminated before Sweet 16? Is there a team that you're going to talk yourself into? Where are you at right now, big picture, as far as March Madness is concerned?
A team I just took a sprinkle on last week, Texas Tech, to go to the Final Four. I think their team is probably going to take a 3, but I feel like we always see a 3 seed make the Final Four. You get in your region. Texas Tech, when they've been shooting the ball well, have been as good of a team as anyone. They're the only team to beat Houston since the new year. So this is a Texas Tech team that can be pretty dangerous. So a little bit of a off the radar team. And I agree with you too. What I've seen from Auburn, I don't know if it's because they haven't had much to play for in the past week or so, but we've seen a little bit of flaws with that Auburn team. Are they able to finally just kind of kick it back into gear? It remains to be seen, but I'm there with you. I don't think I'll have Auburn winning it all, maybe not even in my Final Four, after we were just talking about how dominant of a year they had just a couple weeks ago.
They have had a dominant year, no doubt about it, but it just feels like something's in the air, Beef. The madness is upon us. That's what it is. Ryan Beef Coyle is going to be all over for us here on The Gambler. Ryan Coyle, 35, mandatory follow. Beef, I know you're getting your hair cut. Are you getting your hair cut by a special someone tonight? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it is by a lady. But I got to look good for the parade this weekend. You know.
I was going to say, you're getting your hair cut a lot these days, bro.
Oh, yeah.
She must be really good with those scissors. Is that what it is?
No, it's just I've been cleaning up on DraftKings. I got some discretionary income.
Let's keep it going. Stay hot, my friend, both on and off the court. You're the best, Beef. We'll catch up later.
Talk to you.
There he is, Ryan Beef Coyle. Great stuff. All right, generational. Oh, we're idiots. Hey, look, fun one today. Coming up next, all things NBA with Sean Bernard. Yes, the NBA season rolls on. I think we got about 17, 18 more games left in the regular season. We are under a month away. Thank you, Lord, from this regular season coming to a close. And the Sixers, who have been focused on the offseason, will have nothing but to talk about than the offseason coming up here in less than 4 weeks. That is a beautiful thing. Last night I tuned in, and it's been upsetting to come to the realization that I have not watched that many full 76ers games this year. And you'd be like, well, yeah, we get it, Brace. No. I love the Sixers. I could not sit there this year and say, you know what? They deserve my time. As a father of a 5-year-old and doing this, X, Y, and Z, I just said, no, I got other things to do. This team is pathetic. Last night, they were a disgrace, but mission accomplished. We'll talk about tanking, what's on the horizon for the Sixers. Daryl Morey had some jokes. We'll break that one down a little bit. Of course, the big story in the NBA is LeBron James. He'll be out for 2 weeks at minimum. Is it as simple as what my good friend Mark Henry Jr. said to me, and this is brought up, where whether or not LeBron James, just get him healthy for the playoffs? That's what it comes down to. I just don't see it as being that easy this time around. And again, we were talking about this team potentially being a championship contender. If LeBron's going to be out until the playoffs start, and that seems to be the case, I'm not going to sit here and say they have a chance to win it all. Not what I was saying last week. Heck no. Definitely a different vibe right here, right now. We'll see what Sean Bernard has to say. He joins me on the other side. Picks and Roll coming up. Be back live tomorrow at 3 p.m. Everybody enjoy the rest of your day. Picks and Roll is next.
A landscaping pro's workday is measured in power per hour. More work in less time. That's why the pros prefer Echo outdoor power equipment. Echo's best-in-class chainsaws, blowers, and string trimmers make light work out of the toughest work days. It's time your crew upgraded to Echo Power. Experience Echo Power for yourself at Laurel Lawn Mower in Blackwood, New Jersey. Visit laurellawn.com or call 856-228-2770 to learn more. Echo. Power on and on.
Welcome to AT&T.